Now, this is currently my favorite festival, the Three Rivers Arts Festival. I believe I made a video about last year's, now 2025. So we're going to talk about a new one that's upcoming this June. And I'm going to chat about my last year's experience, which was fantastic, me planning for this year's, and lastly, a tip on how you can get ready for your next festival. Now, this is my 5th year doing this festival. And let me tell you, it's a good time. So grab a pencil to draw, a brush to paint, and let's chat. All right. Last year's festival. I did, it was good. It was a great experience. The thing about this festival is the location changes each year. Now, what's great about this year's festival and also next year's is that they're going to have a permanent space. They're planning to have a permanent space, which is good. What is cool about it is, though, when you win an award, you get to choose your spot in next year's festival. Last year, I'm grateful to say I won Best of Show. It was unexpected, and I'm grateful for it. Therefore, this year, I was able to choose my spot. And the thing about choosing a spot in the festival, I also looked this up. And I also use Chat GPT or GTP, whichever one it is. I use that to ask, what's a good spot to choose in a festival? And I previously learned before I used that corner spots are fantastic. One of the reasons is because people can see from different angles. They can see from different sides. Whereas if you're in a line of tents, people can only see you from the front. Therefore, for this year's, and I'm sort of dipping into what I'm planning for this year, but I'm going to get back to my experience with last year's. As I was saying, this year's festival, I put a corner spot, but it's also next to an entrance. Therefore, when people are walking through and they just start walking through the festival, they can see me in the beginning and then when they are about to leave. It's a good spot. Now, let's talk about last year's experience. Last year's was fantastic. And what happens is we get ready at night to set up. So we set up the night before. And sometimes we have to wait. There's typically 2 groups of artists. There's the first week, then there's the second week. I think last year, was that the second week? I think last year I was the second week. And so therefore I had to wait for other artists to empty out their stuff and leave the spot and clean up and things like that. So there's a period of waiting to get into my spot to set up that night for the next day. And that was good. It wasn't too bad. It was much longer though, because since each year, there's a new location, they have to kind of like work out the kinks within that location. And there's a part where it's kind of like they're figuring that out. And sometimes it may take longer, especially when cars are coming through. It's in the middle of downtown Pittsburgh. It's not as though it's in this large field, which it was in the past. It was actually in this large field in the past. This time it's not though. Therefore, we're on these small roads, getting ready and setting up and things like that. At the same time though, they do a fantastic job of doing that. They do a fantastic job of organizing it. A festival as big as this, and it's typically 2 weeks long. So it's typically 10 days long. And this year though, since they're building a new location, a new permanent spot, and there's so many different other things going on downtown Pittsburgh, they shortened it to 5 days this year. I'm not sure how that's going to work with all the other artists and things like that. Although it's a new location, it's down to 5 days, which is still good, and it's still going to be a fun time. And so last year I got ready. I did that. I had originals, I had prints, I had stickers. It was a good spot. I was underneath a tree, so if it sprinkled a little bit, I got some coverage, a little bit of leaf umbrella. Also, if that sun was beaming down, I got some shade. People can come in and hang out in the shade. And it was actually a pretty good spot that I was at last year. The year before that, the spot wasn't the best. And I also think since it was also coming off, it was 2023, and I think it was still being affected by 2020 and the pandemic and whatnot. Therefore, it wasn't as busy as I thought it would be. And so 2024 made up for that, and it was a good time. It was fun. It's a fun experience. My family comes out. We hang out and get to see my art in a live spot. Another fantastic thing about it is I get to see people's reactions firsthand looking at my art. And that's fantastic because online's cool and all. At the same time, I don't think people are as affected by it online as they are in person. So I get to see people's reactions right there and get to talk to people and meet with people. And I think that's one of the things that makes people purchase art from artists is meeting the artist. Again, online, even I see other artists online, some of them do make fantastic sales, their online shop. And I do think, though, there's a large portion that doesn't because it's a different experience. And if they don't have that large online presence, I think it's much harder for them to do that online, whereas people are buying their art. Whereas in person, people see your art in person, they get to meet you, you get to chat with them. It's literally like walking into a store and the cashier or the salesperson greets you at the door and they ask you, hey, well, what are you looking for today? Oh, you looking for this? Okay, we got this over here. It's kind of like that. Now, as soon as people walk in, I'm not like, hey, I got this for you. Let me get. No, I'm not doing all that. I'm not trying to sell people and that kind of thing. It's more so building those relationships, though, and talking to these people. And then that, I believe, leads them into looking more into my art and then appreciating it on a different level. So that was last year's. Last year's was a good time. Now this year, I'm planning to do a different kind of style of art. I changed my styles. As you can see in this example of this painting I'm doing for this video, it's different if you look on my Instagram and look at that kind of art that I've made in the past. And so what I'm doing is I want to do originals, and I'm also going to do prints, and also maybe do stickers as well. I like stickers. I think stickers go great. People enjoy stickers as well. If they don't want to buy a full original or even a full print, they can buy some stickers, which is only a couple bucks. Put on their water bottle, laptop, and any other thing that they put stickers on, which is good. And right now, the amount of paintings that I'm aiming to do is more than I possibly can probably get done. My aim is to do at least 2 paintings each week. It's tough with my schedule though. Right now I'm doing sort of 1 painting. So my schedule is kind of tough to get those 2 paintings done. At the same time, I want them to be larger size. Therefore, if they're larger size, they take longer to do. So I'm going back and forth with that. On top of that, I have a gallery at the end of April, at the end of this month, that I'm getting ready for. So I have to get my art in there. I have about a 15-foot space that I had to think about how many pieces I'm going to put within that space. And then right around time June comes, I have to take my art down from there and then put it in the festival. There's 2 things that I'm going for. Therefore, I have to hone it down. I have to lock in and make some art and get ready. And I want a good bit of like 25 pieces at least. It's going to be tough because June's coming up soon. And if I'm doing 2 pieces a week, that's still not enough. So I need to find a way to really lock in and get more pieces done. That's my goal. Getting more pieces done for this, to put some originals up, some prints, and also stickers. Just 3 things. I think that's, especially since it's 5 days this year, 3 things I believe is good to focus on and just showcasing my artwork, not stressing out about it, making a checklist of getting things ready, which is a good transition over into a tip that I'm gonna leave you with for getting ready for your next festival is to have a checklist. Have a checklist of the things that you want for this. That could be originals, prints, stickers, t-shirts, keychains, pens, and bags, a bunch of different other clothing. You can have a few different things. Not only the products that you're going to provide for people to purchase. Also, you can have print slips, those plastic slips that you put your prints in, a card reader, so people can use their card to purchase things as well. Some extra change. If people are using cash, you can give them change back. Some tape, maybe a candy bowl, some bags, especially bags, because people are going to be carrying those things around. Clear bags are fantastic. That way, when people are carrying around your artwork, people can see those bags, see your artwork in it, and say to themselves, I wonder where that's at, and then they find it. That leads them to also buying something themselves because they've seen somebody else with it. So make a checklist of the things that you want for your festival. So that's what I'm doing. Getting ready for the Three Rivers Arts Festival, which is going to be coming up in June, and I'm buckling down. I also have that other gallery that I'm doing. It actually took me a second to make this video because I was making a bunch of content for it and I was recording, but I wasn't doing the voiceover because I was like, I gotta paint. I have to paint. That's what I'm doing. Thank you for hanging out, and chilling, and chatting. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.